All right, everyone. Thank you for tuning into the Lone Wolf Podcast. Haven't been on in about a week or so. A pretty crazy week last week, and I'm a little late on getting to one of these topics. I originally had it lined up to be on a live stream for last week, but I wasn't able to get anything out in time. I had a lot going on. I had some job interviews. Might be changing jobs pretty soon. So a little late to the story, but better late than never. As you can see in the title, we're going to be talking about worker abuse specifically. If you could tell from the thumbnail there, the Frito-Lay controversy that's going on right now. We're going to be talking about that on the second half. First half, we're going to get into this whole Brandy Love controversy, and that's a unique story in of itself, just in all honesty. So let's go ahead and dive on into that one. So first things first, Turning Point USA. If you don't know what it is, it's a kind of like a right wing conference, right wing type group. They hold these little rallies, little meetings. They invite conservative people to speak. I say little; they usually get a pretty decent turnout. They've invited, all sorts of conservative, online figures, things of that nature. And so, Brandy Love is an porn star, but she's also a big Trump supporter. She's a MAGA supporter. She voted for Trump. She's been very vocal of her support of Donald Trump and MAGA um, on Twitter. So that being said, she really is into that culture. Now, Turning Point USA, you would think based on politics, perfect fit, right? And of course, this is the organization ran by Charlie Kirk, et cetera, et cetera. So Brandy Love buys a VIP ticket to go to this event and is basically ran out of town. Now, a lot of people are probably looking at that and saying, why is this important? Honestly, it's there are obviously more important issues, in my opinion, that are really affecting society right now, like the Frito-Lay issue. Going to be getting to that a little bit later here. But the reason I want to talk about this is this is a clear sign of a hypocrisy, and it's something that I think plagues the right wing. So when I talk to some of my, friends who I do videos with, and they talk about, oh, let's try to bring people over to the Republican side of the aisle because seems like they're a little easier to overtake than the Democrats would be. And of course, in the meantime, I keep saying both of these parties suck. Now I understand why the MAGA people support Donald Trump. I've said that in the past. I understand what they heard him say that they like. And I'm not talking about the racist crap that mainstream media wants to push, the stuff about Hispanics and immigrants and whatever. No, 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 no. They heard an outsider's message, and an outsider message always resonates. He's just been more or less one of the only people that I can think of in recent times who ran with that sort of message and got loads of attention from the mainstream media. Therefore, his message really got out there, really took hold, and caught on like a wildfire. Okay. So that's that. I completely understand. The problem is for all the people who say, let's try to bring everyone into the Republican Party. My pushback on that is you do realize you have these people that make up the Republican Party, right? Like the same way the Democrats have been for years now, or at least for the last few years, especially, been trying to play to this woke base to run on identity politics, this and that. Republicans run on identity politics in their own way as well. Okay. The Republicans play to a very heavy evangelical base. Now, to my understanding, I believe Brandy Love considers herself to be a Christian as well. But here's the problem with a lot of religious people. Notice I did not say Christians. I consider myself a Christian. Uh, and this is going to trigger some people, but much like Marilyn Manson, I like Christians. I don't like religious people. You know why? Because those Bible thumping religious people are some of the biggest hypocrites that you will meet. They love to pass judgment. They're the type of old biddies that gathered up after church on Sunday, the old hags that walked outside after they just finished a church service, by the way. That they read from the good book that told everyone to love thy neighbor as you love thyself, and you know uh you know practice the teachings of Jesus, basically, right? They just finished reading from this book. They just finished listening to a sermon based from that book. They just finished singing hymnals potentially or whatever that were based on teachings from that book. And you go outside before you go home and eat your Sunday lunch and you talk shit and gossip, probably about other people in the church. I heard it all the time growing up. These people are flat out hypocrites. They're flat out hypocrites. And so that's not the teachings of Jesus. But what they'll pass judgment on other people for, or they'll say, you don't live enough through Christ. You don't live enough through the teachings of Jesus. Meanwhile, look what you're doing. When did Jesus say, talk shit about those who do not follow my image? I don't recall him ever saying that. Okay. But that's what they love to do. And so they push this holier than thou image. You've got to be good and holy and wholesome. You can't partake in any sinful activities, et cetera, et cetera. So that's what their big complaint was about Brandy Love in this situation, because obviously they're playing to the evangelical base. They didn't want pushback from the evangelical. Why do you have a porn star at this event? We're conservatives. We're good Christian folks around here. So they caved in. She had a VIP ticket. They told her to leave. Okay. First things first. I got the same question that the Hodge twins had. How the fuck did y'all know who she was? How did you know who Brandy Love was? Now, I know how I know who Brandy Love was. I was a teenage boy in high school at one point. I know how I know who Brandy Love was. How do y'all know who Brandy Love was? Y'all are the Bible thumpers over here. Y'all are the ones saying that, oh, no, 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 no. This doesn't belong. She's evil. She's sinful. Look what she's out there doing to make a living. She's a dirty woman. Okay. How did you know who she was? Because I got news for you. She ain't like Donald Trump. She ain't circulating through the mainstream media. She is not on everyone's TV in their home. She is not a household name. Oh, she's well known by a lot of guys, maybe even some women too. She's got quite a big following. She has a OnlyFans. She's got a big following on it, right? But how did you know who in the hell she was? What are you watching her stuff? Have you checked it out at some point in time? Because if you have, I got some questions about you. How are you going to pass judgment on someone for being a porn star and you're watching their porn? Last I checked, I believe that Bible that you love to preach from says some things about that kind of stuff too. I believe, as a matter of fact, it spoke about masturbation being sinful. Now, why else would you be watching her videos? That's like the people that say they buy Playboy to read the articles inside. You know damn well that ain't what you did that for. If you're watching Brandy Love, there's one good reason why you're watching Brandy Love. By your holy book, the Bible I read too, that's a sin. So how did you know who she was? It makes no sense, right? But they told her to leave anyway. They said, you're not welcome here. They cited that they're sticking to their values and their history of not promoting figures who distribute sexually explicit imagery or whatever. Okay. So this gets into a little bit of a gray area, but I think it fits. I think it fits. So I look at that and I say, okay, you don't want to promote anyone who has ever distributed risque content, sexually explicit content, porn, nudity, whatever. Okay, you don't like that. Charlie Kirk and Candace Owens, for a while at least, were becoming Kanye West stans. They were really trying to reach out to good old Kanye West to bring him into the fold. Now, has Kanye West put out any sexually explicit content to my knowledge? No, but who was he married to? He was married to Kim Kardashian. Well, she has She had one of the most talked about TMZ sex tapes quite a few years ago with Ray J, right? She's got her naked ass and her upper area all over the internet for the world to see. She took some of those before she married Kanye West, I believe, and she's taken some after she split up from Kanye West. So she's got nudity all over the place. He married her, and y'all were trying to promote him. Now, some are going to say, well, that's different. That's different because it wasn't him. They said they're not going to promote people who do. Here's the problem with that. We're talking about Bible thumper, judgmental type people here. Okay. And I got news for you. If you haven't interacted with them, they fit a certain mold. If they will judge you for the stuff that you do, they will then judge the company that you keep. Because they look at it and they say, if you're doing what I deem sinful and not Christ-like, and I don't want to associate with you, I don't want to associate with your friends either, because obviously they must approve of what you do and I don't. So therefore, I don't see anything I have in common with them. I pass judgment on them too. So if you got a problem with a woman passing around naked photos of herself, you got a problem with the guy who married that woman. You know why? Because you look down upon that woman. You look down upon her and you say she's all sorts of derogatory words toward women I won't use here. I thought about it, but I'm not going to do that. You look down upon those women. Flat out. You do. And so you're going to pass judgment on the woman. You're going to pass judgment on the company that she keeps as well. But apparently, you can set that to the side when you think that certain criteria fits what you need to play your own identity politics, like Kanye West. Why? Because he wasn't a white blonde woman, right? See, Brandy Love, what is it about Brandy Love other than the fact she is a fairly well-known porn star? What kind of image does she fit? She fits a white blonde lady. Or as some people would love to call in today's world, the typical Karen, right? So there's really no pizzazz to you trying to support her or welcome her in. It's like, oh, you're just you look like a lot of other women we've already got at this event, and you just got some negative PR attached to your name. So who are we really losing when we kick you out of here? Like, who are we really going to lose? So, yeah, you can go because we don't want the negative PR. But Kanye West, something the right loves to talk about with this whole MAGA thing is how many black voters now support MAGA since Trump came into office. Oh, there's more black Republican support than there's ever been. And now we've got the famous black musical artist over here wearing red MAGA hats. This is a PR's dream. Oh my God, we can make our case now. He's our token black guy over here. Let's get him out here on the stage. We already had a Candace Owens. Now we need someone else to match it. We've already had some people in the past, but none of them as well known as Kanye West. So you know what? We'll deal with the fact that your wife posts naked photos all over the internet. We'll deal with the fact that your wife made a sex tape years ago for some publicity. Yeah, that's no problem. Matter of fact, we'll deal with the fact that your wife made such a joke out of marriage once upon a time. She married a guy and was filing for divorce within what, 2-3 months? You know, the sacred marriage, the sanctity of marriage. That's another thing, too, for the Bible thumpers. What does the Bible say about marriage? Well, first of all, you could get really into the weeds with that and say it gave clearance to polygamy. But that's a whole nother issue again. But what is in those wedding vows that are based from the Christian culture and Judeo-Christian? Till death do us part, for better or for worse, through sickness and in health. And she got married, took those sacred vows to a guy, divorced him in no time. But y'all will overlook that shit because you wanted Kanye West for your PR campaign. Pretty fucked up, right? Furthermore than that, what is the other argument? They're saying, well, we got young kids who come to this event. We got teenagers, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. Does every teenage boy probably watch porn? I ain't gonna go out there and say yes, but it is, I'm sure, even if they don't watch it regularly, I'm sure they've watched it at some point in time. Maybe if you haven't, maybe there are a few holy teenage boys out there that they're just like, I'm gonna live good, clean, and wholesome. But the overwhelming amount, I'm sure, have watched porn. Now you could say, well, we shouldn't be allowing our kids to look at that. Okay, so that's a parental thing. Who else could be speaking at these events that might not be something that's kid appropriate? What if an actor was there? What if that actor ever played a role in a movie where she was naked? What if it was like 20 years ago? You gonna say you can't go and watch that? You're gonna tell your kid, okay, what if your kids watched a movie? I don't know. What's one of the most popular movies in today's world? Right. Marvel movies, right? Okay. Okay. So you gonna let your kid watch a movie with Amber Heard in it or Scarlett Johansson in it? Or because these people have naked scenes out there. Now I get they're not really conservative, but it's just the overall point. How far are you gonna take that level of censorship? Like, oh my God, I gotta guard my kid from this sort of thing because it's sinful and it's shameful, and a kid shouldn't be exposed to that. Okay, so for one, you don't have to acknowledge her presence per se. You don't have to announce, here's Brandy Love, the well-known porn star. Maybe don't announce it. Maybe she just wants to be there. Furthermore than that, she ain't trying to promote her content to my knowledge. It's like the Hodge twins said. Was she out there offering free hand jobs to people? No. What the fuck is your problem? She's there because she wanted to hear what you guys had to say. Whether I agree with what they say on those stages or not, that's not the point here. She just came because she supported what you guys were talking about. But typical judgmental, pushing that Christian value bullshit off, which leads me to another final point on this. Okay. And I believe we can pretty much move on after this. I'll read some of the chats to make sure we didn't have anything pertaining to this before I move on. But final point. Brandy Love actually pointed this out on Twitter. There was a full stock bar at this event. You know what people do at a bar? They drink, they get drunk, they get wasted, they get shit faced. Pretty sure the Bible says that's a sin too, right? So why do you have alcohol out there? And again, if these kids, like, from my understanding, more I've heard, like, from the other side, most of this was college kids. Not even we're talking like high school, but college kids. You telling me you don't think you think a college kid's for one, if they're in college, they're probably over 18 any damn way, most likely, unless there's some kind of freaking whiz child or some shit who could graduate through high school really fucking early. And I don't really see that being the case. But let's say it was. Let's say it was. Let's say they're just that smart. Overwhelming majority are going to be college kids. You think their eyes are that innocent? You think hormones haven't taken hold? Like, these are the same type of people who I think live in the same reality that teenagers are not experimenting around with each other sexually. That shit's been happening for a very long fucking time. Why do you think they finally passed laws and shit saying that the age of consent was 16? When a teenager's hormones kick the fuck in, they have one thing in mind, especially if you're a guy. As I've said before, teenage guys think with the wrong head, period. Their hormones are way out of fucking balance. And they're, as my grandpa once said, they'd screw a snake if someone would hold its mouth open. Period. That's teenage guys. I mean, they're literally like dogs. And they'll damn near take whatever they could get in some cases. I mean, it's bad. It's bad, especially if it's a guy who don't get very many women. He gets one damn woman showing him some attention, and he perks up just like Scooby. I mean, it's fucking embarrassing, but that's what they do. It's what they do. So you think all these teenage college frat boy guys got a problem with a hot porn star being there? I don't. I don't see where they'd be so fucking offended and having their pearls clutched. Now, maybe some of the older folks in there are like, oh, that shouldn't be here. But the teenage guys, the college guys, They're probably sitting there that whole damn time going, "Oh my God, I know her. I've watched her stuff for years." That's bad. Again, the level of judgment that's being passed because of what she does, it is just so damn hypocritical. But again, you put a full stock bar in there. Again, the Bible talks about drinking to get drunk as being a fucking sin. Why are you trying to promote those bad habits? How many people have gotten drunk, gone home, and committed domestic violence? How many people have gotten drunk, got behind the wheel of a car, and killed people? And how many people has watching porn ever killed? You still want to think she's the worst of the two evils there? I don't. I don't see where she is. And so my point to that is for all the people who think there's saving grace in the Republican Party, understand you've got the regular old blue collar MAGA base, and you got the people who associate under the MAGA banner, but they're a bunch of judgmental pricks. And when you try to bring more people in from the outside who don't believe in this, oh, I've got to live my life through the blood of Christ type stuff. They might be atheists. They might believe in a different religion. They don't believe in conforming to your holy laws that say I can only do this, X, Y, and Z. You're gonna lose those people because they come in like, I don't want to fucking deal with these damn self-righteous assholes. I don't want to deal with them. Well, where the fuck do you turn? That's why we need a serious third party. So that being said, I'm going to turn here for a second. I do not have my contacts in, so I'm blind as a fucking bat today. So I will be having to use the old glasses here to read the live chats today. So gonna look a little funny, but y'all just have to deal with me on this. Read some of the chats here. Let's see. Holly Horn. Good to see you live. Appreciate you being here, Holly. Hopefully we can get these viewers to trickle on in here in just a minute because we're gonna get into the good stuff next with the whole Frito-Lay issue. Didn't have to do with the racist stuff. Trump was the anti they wanted. Exactly. Holly Horn again, judge not, least ye be judged. Agreed. And then association and strip joints. Yeah. So again, very, very, very good points there that you brought up. The Bible tells you that you should not judge other people. And if you truly want to believe in your whole religion, the Bible tells you leave that up to the Lord to judge people. Right. So for the people who want to go around with this holier than thou message, all these Christian Bible thumpers out here who want to push that stuff on other people, you know, here's what you need to do if you want to follow what you want to preach off of. What your Bible tells you to do is witness to other people, do what you can. Don't force it down their throat and don't pass judgment on them. Let God handle that. Plus, by the way, if you really believe in the Lord, there's that thing that they refer to as the Holy Ghost. How many pastors have I ever heard about get up on a stage and talk about how the Holy Ghost, the Holy Spirit, comes into your life and does these miracles and wonders, and he works on your soul and he'll turn your life around? So if you really believe in that concept, why are you trying to pass judgment and then try to bully or shame or force them into going in your, if they're a person who can be saved, you plant the seed, as I've heard so many of these televangelists say, and let the Lord do the work. But you don't want to do that. You want to pass judgment. So you're a hypocrite. That's what I have to say to that. So moving on, let's get into this whole Frito-Lay thing. So I got to be honest. I did not know what in the hell was going on with this until about 2 weeks ago. I believe Joe Sherray, who I've had on the show now twice, sent me some stuff over on Twitter, and I got to take a quick look at it. But then I started hearing more and more stuff going, and I had no idea what was going on out there with Frito-Lay. But it is downright fucking shameful and pathetic what's going on out there. So Frito-Lay, they've been working these people that are working in their factories to death. They are working on people, forcing a lot of overtime. You come in, you're supposed to work an 8-hour day and go home. But instead, they turn those 8-hour days into like 12-hour days plus double shifts, whatever. You get off, and then like no time later, you got to be right back in there. So you either got to come in like 4 hours early or stay 4 hours late. It is such bullshit. And your work, like, and many of them, the reports have come out, they haven't had a day off in months. Months. They're pushing damn near like 80 hours a week. Now, if you do the math, 7 days a week at 12 hours a day, that's 84 hours a week, right? And they're working these people to the fucking bone. Now, I know of a few really rough factories in South Carolina. BMW, obviously, a very well-known one, the BMW manufacturing plant. They had a guy who didn't get locked out and tagged out properly like 2 years ago. Got killed on the job, and in no time, they were just reopening and moving along like nothing ever fucking happened. So, similar issue here. There's reports that have come out that people have literally collapsed from heat exhaustion or whatever in this Frito-Lay warehouse and died. And they were told, move the body and put someone else in the place. Like what? This is like fucking, you know, a snuff film football match or whatever. Like, oh, Billy collapsed. Drag his dead ass off the field. Johnny, run in there and take his place. What kind of bullshit is that? This man just fucking died. And I'm going to tell you what bothers me. I've ate some damn Frito products in my time. But if I had known this is what the fuck they were doing, I wouldn't have been buying that shit. I will tell you, one of my guilty pleasures I've had in the last few months up until I found this shit out was Garden Salsa Sun Chips. I thought they were fucking terrific. I like Flaming Hot Cheetos. I'm not going to buy this shit now. And if you care about people being treated decent, you won't either. You see, one thing we do have the power to do, while we might not be able to go out and elect a third party right now, you can push back on these fucking corrupt ass corporations who make this is where so many people get this shitty view of capitalism from fucking people like the damn Frito-Lay company. They're the reason so many people look at capitalism and say, this is what the fuck happens, and it's fucked up. It uses and abuses people, and it wants slaves. And to be honest, if you don't look deeper into the issue, you don't talk to this or that, and you don't understand that a lot of this bullshit has been enabled through fucking corrupt ass crony capitalism. And I know there's people who say that's one and the same. I disagree, but you're entitled to your opinion on that. But if you don't really study this shit and you just simply look into this and you see what's happening in Frito-Lay and you hear that, how the fuck do you disagree with it? Like, if I don't look into capitalism that in depth and I don't try to understand how there should be a free market and this and that, which, and again, that's why I say I like a mixed economy. I know people like my buddy Reed Coverdale, they're to the point they don't trust the government at all now, but that's why I say I like some form of a mixed economy. The corporations need to be kept in check by the government. The only problem is you get shitty fucking government, you get poor leadership, they get bought off. You got to find a way to try to stop that shit from fucking happening. They get bought off, and then they cater to the fucking corporations any damn way, and you get this fucking crony capitalism system, which is why some people say it's inevitable and it's going to happen. Other people still maintain that there's a way to stop it. Look, I see problems on both sides, and that's why I've said in the past it's got to be a mixed economy, but just like the fuel-air ratio in your car, it needs to be mixed a certain way so that the fucking car runs right. If you got too much air, it ain't going to run right. You're getting too much fuel, it's going to be running too rich. And that's when you got that strong gas smell, fuck up your catalytic converters, et cetera, et cetera. So you got to have the right mixture. That's been my stance for a really long time. But this sort of shit, there's, again, when I talked about the fucking Cuba mess, there, I don't give a rat's ass what your opinion is of the Cuba situation. I don't care if you think it's right. I don't care if you think it's wrong. I had that video. I've had that conversations. I've expressed my side. Now, if we were to do another video, if we're going to talk about Cuba specifically, then of course I would love to hear what other people have to say. I'm saying I don't give a rat's ass right now because there's a serious fucking hypocrisy when the United States is telling other countries how poor their fucking working conditions are, how impoverished their people are, how broke they are, how shitty the system is. And you got that fucking bullshit happening right here in the United States. No, I'm sorry, but that pissed me the fuck off. That is that nosy fucking neighbor who complains you don't cut your grass enough when they got goddamn weeds up to their fucking knees. Up to their knees. You know the neighbor I'm talking about. As I told David Spurrier, the old neighbors in the trailer park, one standing out there on their porch with a Marlboro Red, a nightgown on, and hair curlers, looking at the woman who walked out of the other fucking trailer wearing a low-cut top and some booty shorts. That woman's trashy. Who the fuck are you to talk? You think you're the fucking standard bearer of class? And we think we're the standard bearer of how to take care of our people and make sure they have something. Well, you know what? Once upon a time, we were doing a lot better in that column. But over the last 20 to 30 years, as I've said on my channel and as I've heard people say where I come from for a very long time, the rich got richer, the poor got poorer. And we're going to fucking tell other people how they need to treat their people better. While you've got Frito-Lay working people like a fucking dog till they drop. Till they drop. And when they drop, drag their dead carcasses off to the side and put someone else in their place. So thank God that these workers went on a strike. Unfortunately, I'll be coming back to this in a minute. Unfortunately, I don't think enough was done. It seems like they folded without getting very much of a deal on their behalf. And that's pretty fucked up because if I'm not mistaken, the CEO of that company is raking in like $30 million. And this is the concession that they got. 1 day off per week. No. So you could still at six times 12 is 72. They could still damn near be working the same amount of time as if they were holding 2 full-time jobs. No better climate control for the building. No, you didn't negotiate fucking shit. Who the fuck negotiated this deal? The Democrats and Republicans? Who the fuck? Seriously, who negotiated that? What fucking union boss said, we'll take that fucking deal? Bernie Sanders? Who the fuck agreed to that shit? There's no fucking way if that was me, I would have agreed to just that. Are you serious? Your fucking rich asses are wanting to sell some goddamn chips. And you ain't going to sell shit until we come back in that fucking building. Here's even worse. For all of the progressives out there who told us Biden was the lesser of two evils, Joe Biden would be more for the working man than Donald Trump, even if it was just by a smidgen. Y'all know who I'm referring to. Some of them make YouTube videos. Hey, how come we didn't hear him talk or Kamala? Why did we not hear them talking about this? They talked about how they stand in solidarity with the Cuban people. So when you going to stand in solidarity with your own fucking people, Joe? When you going to do it? Why? Because these fucking people are rich and they're here and they might contribute to your goddamn political campaigns. So fuck them, right? You don't give a shit. You give a rat's fucking ass. What happens to those fucking people? From a guy who likes to claim he grew up the hard way in Scranton. Where are you? Where are you to help when the American people have something like that going on? Oh, that's right. You're announcing that there's gonna the ban on evictions ends this Saturday. That's where you are. That's what you have to say. The ban on evictions is going away this Saturday, as if it was ever in full effect anyway. Because there's some shit that came out not too long ago on that said people were still getting kicked out any fucking way. You know why? Because the landlords found loopholes to still kick out their tenants, collect that government subsidy, renovate their fucking complexes, their apartments, and some shit like that. And when they renovated them, fix them up, flip them, and rent them back out at a higher fucking price. So you and Trump never really got that problem fixed in the first fucking place. And now you're going to call an end to it. Oh, and by the way, we got a mask back up. The pandemic's still fucking raging. It's only getting worse. Not enough people are taking the vaccine. So the pandemic is going to kick back up. This Delta variant's going to kick our fucking ass. We're probably going to have to quarantine again. The whole damn world's going to fall back into shit. That's the fucking route mainstream media is pushing it down. And so if we go there, why do we need to end this ban, which was never really a full fucking ban anyway, on people getting evicted from their homes if we're going right back into the same fucking shithole of a mess that we were in that started the ban on evictions? What a dumbass you are to think now would be the time if what you've been telling us is really about to happen. What kind of fucking genius thinks that's a good plan? Y'all really did a fucking number when you elected that guy, everyone who voted for him. Look, I voted third party, but I said flat out, as much as I had my problems with Trump, if you stuck a gun to my head, I would not be Jesse Ventura and take the bullet. I would say I'm going to hold my nose and go with Donald Trump because I know damn well what I'm getting with Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. And it ain't some shit I want. They are the phoniest, not just them. The Democrat Party, with the exception of a couple of people, are the phoniest sons of bitches on the planet. I mean, they're fucking fake. Fucking fake. Okay? And so, where were you to stand in solidarity with the people that worked at these Frito-Lay factories? And even worse, I got to make an apology now. Because a while back, I criticized Coca-Cola because I didn't agree with their whole critical race theory pandering and bullshit with their fucking pamphlets about learn to be less white. And I loved Coca-Cola at the time. And I said, damn, now I feel like I can't, I don't like this, so I probably shouldn't buy Coca-Cola anymore. And I fucked up. You know what I said I would do? I said I'd buy Pepsi as a replacement. I feel like a fucking horse's ass now because between the two, Coca-Cola's Be Less White pamphlet makes the shit Pepsi because Pepsi is the parent company of Frito-Lay. It makes what Pepsi's doing look like the difference between a guy shooting someone in self-defense and the fucking Sandy Hook shooter. That's how big of a difference we're talking about here. Now, fuck, for all I know, Coca-Cola might have some similar shit going on. I don't know. Maybe it ain't fucking different. I have no idea. I tell you what, if there's one damn thing that might get me to the point that I stop drinking sodas, this is probably going to be it. And that sucks because I'm not the standard bearer of healthy living, and I do enjoy soda. So that fucking sucks. I love a good rum and coke. So what the fuck am I going to turn to now? RC Cola? God, fucking pitiful. I mean, and so I'm going to say right now, I think if you give a damn about how workers are treated, Frito-Lay and Pepsi products should be fucking boycotted. I don't give a damn if the union boss is a complete fucking puss cake and agrees to this whole fucking 1 day a week off shit and they're going to end the damn strike. Now, if you give a shit, starve their fucking pocketbooks. It's the only goddamn way you're going to make something change. You can't vote that kind of problem to be fixed necessarily. You just can't do that. You simply can't. So if you give a shit, hit them where the fuck it hurts. If you love drinking soda and you don't like RC Cola or whatever, practice discipline and just try not drinking soda. It can't hurt you. And by the way, don't buy the bottled water. Because you'd be surprised how many of these bottled water companies are owned by Coke and Pepsi. That's fucked up, right? You've got soda companies in charge of distributing water products. So again, if you care about what they're doing to people, hit them where it fucking hurts. Okay. Now that brings me around to this poor gentleman here. This guy gave a testimonial about what he went through at the Frito-Lay issue. Okay. When he was working at the Frito-Lay warehouse. Brandon Ingram. Now, if you haven't seen this, Kyle Kalinske just put a video up. I don't have a link to it I can drop right here, but definitely go check that out. And I would encourage you to watch the whole video. So Brandon Ingram was he was a worker. I think he had to press a button to open up like the bay on a loading dock or something and got electrocuted. And it really screwed him up. Apparently he couldn't even like hardly move when he got out of bed. So he had to call out of work and go see a doctor. And Frito, like when they said, like, he's like, I can barely even move. Okay, are you gonna be at work tomorrow? This guy got fucking electrocuted. Electrocuted. Now look, being as how I've done management jobs in the past, I understand in certain situations where someone calls out of work, you're going to ask, do you think you'll be in tomorrow? Because if they're not, you have to plan to try to cover them because you're supposed to have so many people there. A lot of what I did was like contract stuff, and we were required to have a number of people on site. So if you call out saying you got a tummy ache, I'm going to ask, do you think you'll be better by tomorrow? Because if not, I want to go ahead and try to get my plan B in place right then. So that you can take that day off and it's not trying to make me scramble around to find the coverage again. But if someone called me up and said that they had a bad fall and had to go to the hospital, or someone called me up and said I've been in a bad wreck, or someone called me up and said I got fucking electrocuted, I'm not going to ask them, are you going to be at work tomorrow? I'm going to assume they're going to be out until they fucking tell me that they can come back. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take the rest of their schedule and I'm going to start setting up plan Bs. until I hear back from them that they can come back to work. You know why? Number one, that's the responsible thing to do if you gave a shit about them. Number two, just the fucking right thing to do as a decent human being. And number three, they're probably not going to be able to come back to work the next fucking day with an accident that way. Who in the hell thinks that is fucking understandable? You got electrocuted. And from my knowledge, it ain't the type of electrocuted I got when we moved into our house and I was hooking up ceiling lights and ceiling fans and got a little tingle that kind of just scared my ass a little bit. You know, like, oh shit, okay, power ain't off here yet. I thought it was, but let's go just cut the whole fucking house off. How about that? No, we ain't talking about that shit. We're talking about something that clearly had to send him to the hospital. And when they took him to the hospital, they passed like 3 or 4 other hospitals to take him to the one he finally went to. It was like 45 minutes away because they had an arrangement that all of their people who get fucked up on the job will go there. What? What in the fuck is that? What if he'd had a much more serious injury? What if he had had an electric shock can be life-threatening? So before I make the following statement, I want to make that perfectly fucking clear. Just like Richard Nixon, I want to make this perfectly clear. Electric shock can kill your fucking ass. Now I'm going to say what I was about to say. What if it was really life-threatening from electric shock or anything else? What if it really was life-threatening? You got how many hospitals closer to that fucking place than the one you took him to? But you have a contract, an arrangement, whatever, that you're going to transport your wounded and your injured and give your business to them. And what if that caused him to die because it took too long for him to get his help? How fucked up is that? How fucked up is that? And again, who in the hell is the U.S. government and the U.S. military while this shit's going on in our own fucking country to tell anyone, North Korea, Cuba, Venezuela, Iran, any fucking one, how they should treat their people when you can't even fix that kind of bullshit in your own fucking country you were elected to govern? What does that say about you? And it's fucking shameful. It's absolutely shameful. Even worse, they then, I believe he lost his job. He lost his income. And he lost his health insurance. He had to go on a long-term disability. He has, I believe, herniated discs or slipped discs or whatever. Doctor said he shouldn't even been going back to work, but he was. He asked for a chair to help with his job. They told him, no, you're either going to be healthy as a horse and can work or you can't. And then when they get rid of him or whatever happened, they pull his health insurance away. Meanwhile, he's got to go see the doctor. And it got so damn bad, he and his wife were having to go in his kid's piggy bank to collect money to try to pay for the bills. And the doctor was working things out for them where you pay some today, we'll worry about the rest of it later. I mean, God almighty. How fucking pitiful. And I know a lot of people don't like the idea of Medicare for all, but that's why I say we need to have something, especially when you got working conditions like that. People should be allowed to go see a doctor and not be bankrupted, to get medical treatment and not be bankrupted. I look at it no different than people who pay their taxes so that when they have a crisis and they need to call the police for protection, they're there. Or the people who can call the local fire department to come put their house out if it caught on fire. We pay taxes for that shit, and that should be part of it, in my opinion. No one should have to go through that. I mean, I've had my own experiences, but I've luckily never been to that point. But being as how I've been in that road for many years, been down that path where you didn't have health insurance and it's weighing on your mind every fucking day. God, what? I cannot afford something like that to happen. I've got neck injuries, I've got knee injuries, I've got pain every day. I can't see a doctor to figure out what the fuck is going on. And God forbid something happened to me because I can't afford the emergency. The amount of stress that puts on a person ages you long before your time. Hell, maybe that's why people don't think I'm fucking 25. I don't know. Maybe it aged me quicker, but it will age you beyond your time. It will stress you the fuck out. Oh, and by the way, it'll lead to a lot of other health problems as you do get older. Where do you think the working class has all these issues of high blood pressure and shit from? Comes from diet because we have to eat what we can afford. Also comes from the stress you endure over the years. That's why we have the health problems we have. The stress we live through on a day-to-day basis. And they take that guy's health insurance. I've never been in that predicament, but I empathize with the Ingram family 100%. And I think it's a fucking tragedy and a crime that we are supposed to be the richest nation in the world. You got the CEO of that fucking place making $30 million a year. And this is what they do to their people. It's disgusting. And so if the unions want to be some bitches and agree to just getting one day off a week as the deal, if any of you who watch this video care about these kind of working conditions and you want to make a difference, hit them in their pocketbook. Do not buy their fucking bullshit. Don't drink Pepsi and don't eat any kind of chips made by Frito-Lay. You will send a message if enough people do it. Either you care enough about it or you don't. And for those who aren't willing to give up unhealthy snacks and drinks to send that message, don't bitch about these issues later on if you ain't willing to put that much skin in the game. If you're not willing to put that much skin in the game, then you don't care enough about the workers. So don't complain about it later on like oh, we got to be better for workers' rights. If you're going to keep eating goddamn Cheetos and drinking Pepsi Cola, you don't care. You just don't care. That's one of the easiest, simplest things you can do to make a difference. And if you're not willing to do that, there's no need on bitching about it. I've already made my mind up. You know, if I drink a soda, it damn sure ain't going to be from Pepsi until I see that those workers are being taken care of a lot fucking better than they are right now. And I encourage everyone else to do the same thing. It's one of the best things you can do. Boycott those motherfuckers because they won't make shit if they can't sell it. One of the best damn things you can fucking do. I mean, honestly, it's a simple fix to a problem. And people need to realize that. Some things you can vote about. This is the private sector. Money talks, bullshit walks. Hit them in their fucking pocketbook and you'll make them take notice. But back to the Ingram family, because it ain't done with the Ingram family. Oh, no. He finally had to sue Frito-Lay, and now they've got private investigators stalking him and his family, following their every move, watching their kids at school, watching his wife work out in the front yard and trying to follow him to see if he's really as bad off as they say. Following him around, taking video of him walking with a cane. This is who we're dealing with here. Like, they don't even want to just treat you like shit at work. If you try and get back at them, this is what they do. They hire private investigators to follow you around. So, like I just finished saying, if you care about the workers' rights, hit them where it hurts. Read a couple of the live chats here and probably wrapping this one up. Let's see. Holly Horn, people died for 40-hour a week. Yeah, and it's happened in a lot of other places as well. A lot of people have died working 40-hour week jobs. There are a lot of 40-hour a week jobs who just work you into the ground. But this is even fucking worse because they're working you way, way beyond 40 hours a week at this Frito-Lay place. Okay. Holly Horn, I have to wrap stories like that around my head. Someone dies and they move someone else in. Yeah, it's fucking pitiful. I mean, good Lord, that is just some old sick shit, in my opinion. Literally working to death, ain't it grand? Coming from a blue collar guy, I didn't know I could be so fucking happy working my ass off. Let's see. Holly Horn, exactly, Charles. Loopholes. I think you're referring to there like the loopholes on the whole eviction ban, right? So, like, yeah, go figure. Leave it up to the government when they pass legislation to be so fucking stupid they don't know all the elements of how someone can be evicted. You know why? When's the last time one of their sorry asses got evicted? Now, they've probably never been evicted, and the only reason they would know what partakes in that were if they were probably the ones doing the fucking evicting. You know why? Because they don't represent the poorest among us. They represent the richest among us. And so either they were too stupid to realize how many different ways you could be evicted, or they knew and did it that way on purpose because they're trying to fucking help the rich people out. Who the fuck knows? Let's see. Holly Horn passed 4 hospitals. Insane. Yeah. Imagine my reaction to that. I mean, again, think about it. If that was a serious life-threatening thing, that guy could have died just on the way to the emergency room. He could have fucking died. Because you have, which I'm no legal expert on this, but I've heard is illegal to arrange an agreement like that out with a hospital. I heard that's illegal. So how far are they willing to take this bullshit just to keep their fucking profits? I'm serious, guys. Do not buy their shit. If you care, don't buy it. And I encourage everyone, make sure you're hitting the like button to get this video around. Share this around. Share it on Twitter. If you think it's a little too profane laced, make one yourself talking about this. Seriously, help get this out there. Send out your own tweets. Spread this around. This shit needs to be boycotted and boycotted right now. Right now. We need to wait until another tragedy comes from this. I'm sorry. Holly Horn, this is why we need Medicare for all. Absolutely. I agree 100%. At the very least, what Tulsi Gabbard proposed. You know, I'll take either damn one of them. I personally like the Tulsi plan a little bit better. But we need something different than the bullshit we got right now. I agree with some of the people who were critics, like my buddy David, who I see is in the chat. I'll get to his chat here in just a minute. But David and Reed Coverdale, when they say like, oh, the current government wouldn't run it right, and I agree, we need the government to be reformed as well. They would treat it just like Social Security, and they'd probably bankrupt the shit out of it. They'd make it run shitty so that people think it sucks, so they could just repeal it and go back to the private companies. I know damn well what they'd do. They're probably never actually going to let it go through anyway. That's why they would just want to subsidize these private insurance companies the way they did with Obamacare. They're going to try and keep pushing that off on people first. So, yeah, 100%. I think we should have something different than what we've got right now. But to their point, we got to change this fucking government or we're never going to get something worth a shit either way. If they passed it, rest assured, it would not run as ideally as most people think because they're going to fucking make sure that it don't. They're going to make sure there's so much red fucking tape that people hate the process and hate the system. They're going to do that. Okay. Holly Horn, there's plenty of money for the military. Yeah. And again, we can fund the killing of people. We can fund the mangling of people, the dismemberment, whatever, the death, the war, the tragedy. But we can't fucking fund something to take care of our own people. We can't even fix the fucking system before it causes them to need medical help. And yet we're going to tell other countries, now you need to live this way. We're supposed to be the place where all those poor, impoverished countries came to chase the American dream. Imagine if I left a authoritarian country where I had to work my ass off, got right to the middle of fucking Kansas, and got a job working at the Frito-Lay. I'm going to chase the American dream. I'm working for the place who sells more American snack foods. Oh my God. This is a name brand. This is Americana right here. And then they put your ass to work and you're like, what the fuck? This ain't much different from home. I'm broke when I go home at the end of the week and I'm working my fucking ass off. Whoo, that American dream looks fucking great. Oh my God. That is so good. That's like a wet dream, isn't it? You wake up from that as happy as you can be. That's bullshit. And it reminds me of something that George Carlin once said. It's called the American dream because you have to be asleep to believe in it. The bad part is, once upon a time, there was that American dream. And I think there's still opportunity for success. But as I've expressed multiple times, it ain't as easy as the American dream wants you to believe it is. They've made it much, much harder to obtain. And a lot of people won't get the opportunity. That's a sad reality. The Radical Independent, my good buddy David. Corporations now have more power than governments. Really weird how capitalism is woke and making people poor and sick. Yeah. And, think of this shit. Companies like Amazon, owned by the richest motherfucker on the planet, Jeff Bezos, that we know of. The guy's got his rockets going all over the fucking place. He owns a newspaper that's got attachments with the CIA or whatever. He's got all of this shit. And they got working conditions in their place of business. You have to work on certain like lines or whatever, right? You got to be within your area. Some of them put down, what is it, like shock bracelets and shit on people. If you're too far outside of your area, it'll shock the shit out of you. What the hell is that? Again, you're allowing that in our own country. You won't say nothing about anyone else. And then you got the Frito-Lay thing. Now, Jeff Bezos obviously has a lot more fucking money than I'd probably say the people at top Frito-Lay does, but it doesn't really matter. It's the same principle. But yet, what do these companies with these shitty wages, these shitty working conditions, this shitty way of just treating their employees, what do they do to look good? Oh, we stand in solidarity with Black Lives Matter. We'll make certain logos to play to the LGBTQ community. Look how great we are with public relations. What? And what's bad is some people buy that bullshit. I don't give a fuck who you say you fucking stand with. Joe Biden says he stands with the working guy. Where the fuck is he when it's time for this shit? Where the fuck is he when people are dropping dead in factories? Where's he at? He ain't nowhere to be found. Nowhere to be found. Sorry. I mean, that is bullshit. You can't say you stand with us when you're not there when we need you. I don't care what they market. I don't care what they say they stand with when they won't show that they stand with it. It's pitiful. It's pitiful. Radical Independent. Dude, where can I get that t-shirt? One of these days, if the channel ever got big enough, I might actually start my own, t-shirt line or whatever. A lot of people do that with the merchandise and stuff. But as of right now, if you want one, I can send you over the logo, but you'll have to go to a store and have it screen printed. This is one I had custom made. I'm going to have a couple of my own t-shirts made for that, and I figure while I'm out and about, get a few t-shirts made, wear them when I go out advertising, right? So, maybe somebody will come check the channel out that way, and I get a little more distribution in my own community that way. So, unfortunately, you can get them, but you got to have it made. I don't have a distribution line on that yet. So, don't look like I'm getting any new chats rolling in at the moment. So we'll just kind of wrap up here. We're already just a little bit past an hour for this, but yeah, again, guys, if you care about the workers' rights, um, you know, dude, or ladies, people, boycott the shit, man. It's the only way. It's the most effective and best way you can send a message to them. And when they're not making profits and going into the red, they'll make changes. They will make changes. As long as they got a customer base, they can get away with this kind of crooked ass bullshit. Radical Independent. Hey, I would wear it on my channel, brother. I appreciate that. Yeah. like I said, if the channel ever gets to the point where it is monetized and stays monetized, because I've got a lot of counterparts out there who got fucked on that. They got past 1,000 subscribers, and then YouTube said, try again, son. We don't like what you say. We're not going to let you make any money. And of course, good old Rockfin still won't allow me on their platform. Thanks, guys. Much appreciated. So until I get to the point I can monetize something where this channel's actually possibly paying for itself, if I invest the money into making the t-shirts for the amount of people that I've got watching, I don't know how many I could realistically sell. But, if you want it, like I say, I'll definitely shoot the logo over to you and then just go get it screen printed. I didn't pay but like about $20 or whatever for this thing. So just find you like a little cheap screen print shot. They'll screen print it right on the front, just like they did for me. So, but I love it. And like I said, I'm probably going to have a few more of them made. I've got some unique designs I'm going to try to come up with for the shirt. Maybe even like quotes I'm going to put on the back of them and stuff. Just like I said, when I go out and about, maybe people will take notice. But again, wrapping up, point number one, first half of this video, be careful when you try to bring people into the Republican side, because you've got a very bad hypocrisy, just like what they did to Brandy Love. They love to judge other people while not realizing how big of a hypocrite that makes them themselves. Regardless if you agree with what Brandy Love does or not, it's a free country. If she wants to do that sort of thing, she should be absolutely allowed to do it. Those who want to watch what she does, it's up to them. It's a free country. Let them do their thing. Who's it harming? Who's it harming? You can attack it for your moral reasons or whatever, but I don't really see where there's an issue with it. And then again, to the second half, if you care about these workers, you care about these workers' rights, boycott Pepsi, boycott Frito-Lays, and do not let them continue to make money while they do this. If you care, don't contribute to their profits and make them take notice that they've got to start doing better, since our government clearly, once again, is going to fail the American people. So again, if you like this video, make sure you're hitting that thumbs up button. Just smash that like button. Drop the comments in the comment box down below. I'll have another video coming out this week. 1st of August, we're going to have a Unity Through Music segment. I'll be trying to get some more guests on the channel pretty soon. Hopefully, you can get Franco from Frank Analysis on pretty soon. And still looking at setting up something, with some other people I've been in touch with on Twitter right now. So we'll see. I'm not sure who I'll be getting on first, but I'm going to try to get another guest on pretty soon. But if you've got any guests in particular that you would like to see me have on, and be realistic here, I'm probably gonna get on Jimmy Dore. Some of my counterparts have gotten Jimmy Dore on their show, but I just don't see that happening with mine at this point. I've super chatted Jimmy Dore in the past or whatever, but I've even tried to reach out and I've got nothing back. So be realistic here. Just some smaller names you'd like to see me talk with. I've had a few that have already been tossed my way. Chad Wilson's been one, so I'm going to look at trying to get him on the show pretty soon if he's willing to come on. But drop those suggestions down, and again, help share this around. We'll see you next time right here on the Lone Wolf Podcast. Take care, everyone.